it's Kim. We're going to do a short yoga workout video today with some HIIT moves. If you want to go ahead and grab some light weights, or if you don't have weights, cans of soup, something that you can hold on to. We'll incorporate these into the workout as well. All right, whenever you're ready, go ahead and get started out in child's pose. So foreheads resting on your mat, knees together or spread wide, big toes touching. So spread those fingers wide, press into the palms. Take a big breath in, fill up with air. Long exhale out, let it go. So big breath in, filling up. Long exhale out, let it go. We're going to go ahead and press back to our first downward facing dog. So feet about hip width apart, heels pressing toward the mat. Go ahead and pedal out your feet, maybe swaying into your hips. Maybe shaking your head, yes or no. We're going to tiptoe our feet up toward our hands. So inhale, halfway lift, pull that back nice and flat. Exhale, forward fold. Spread your feet out toward the outer edges of your mat. Grab opposite elbows and just sway it from side to side. Let your head hang heavy. Go ahead and release your hands, heel toe your feet back to about hip width apart. So inhale, halfway lift. Step back to your high push-up. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. We're going to exhale to low. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. Go ahead and walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or hop back. Chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. Walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or hop back. Chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. So one more round. Walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or hop back. Chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. Go ahead and drop down to your knees. Cross your ankles. We're going to make our way into a seated position. So we're going to come into our boat pose. And go ahead and set your weights by your sides. So plant your feet about hip width apart. Pretend like there's a string pulling your crown to the sky. Hands can stay here. Can bend your legs or straighten your legs. So just breathing here, engaging that core. Go ahead and release your hands and feet. Lift your hips and thighs toward the sky. We're going to add some tricep dips here. So lift those hips and we're just going to pulse, bending into the arms. Go ahead and release back to your mat. We'll come back to our boat pose. So bent knees. You can also support yourself with your hands on the mat or extending, reaching through the crown, engaging that core. Go ahead and release your hands, release your feet, lift your hips, lift your thighs. And then little pulses here, just bending into those arms, trying to keep those hips and thighs lifted. Go ahead and come back to your seat, back to our boat pose. So whatever variation feels good to you. So we'll come back to our reverse tabletop, lift those hips and thighs, and then add some pulses, bending into those arms. We're going to release back to our seated position. You can go ahead and grab your weights. So keeping that core engaged, lifting our crown. We're just going to twist to the right and left. So just breathing here. Go ahead and come back to center. You can set your weights down. We'll make our way back to our high push-up. Exhale to low. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. So reach that right leg to the sky. Bend your knee, peel your hip open. And then add some little pulses on the ball of that left foot. So just rising up and releasing down on the ball of that left foot. Go ahead and reach that right leg to the sky. We'll step through to our low lunge. Press your left hand into your mat, reach the right arm to the sky. If you want more on that shoulder, you can bring your right hand to your left hip pocket. We'll go ahead and grab that weight. We're going to do some tricep kickbacks. So extending and bending the arm. Just breathing here. Go ahead and release your hand, release the weight. We'll step left foot up to meet right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back to your high push-up. Pause here. We're going to tap our right and left shoulder. So engaging that core, if you feel any pressure in the lower back, go ahead and drop those knees. Just squeeze your core. Pull your belly button up and in. We'll come back to our plank. Exhale to low. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. So reach that left leg to the sky. Bend your knee, peel open your hip. You can roll up the ankle if it feels good. And then little pulses up and down on the ball of that right foot. So trying to press equally into your palms. Trying to keep those shoulders square to your mat. Go ahead and reach that left leg to the sky. We'll step through to a lunge. So feet on opposite planes. Press into that right hand. Reach that left arm to the sky. Really reaching through those fingertips, back pressing into an imaginary wall. Maybe bringing left hand to that right hip pocket. Go ahead and grab your weight. So we're going to do those tricep kickbacks. So straightening and bending. Breathing here. Go ahead and release that weight. We're going to step back to our high push-up. And this time drop down to your tabletop position. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. We'll extend that left leg nice and long. So flex your foot, pull your crown and tail in opposite directions. We're going to bend our legs, so foot flexing toward the sky. Little pulses up toward the ceiling, toward the sky. Go ahead and extend that leg, extend your arm. We're going to hug them in, elbow to knee, open up. Elbow to knee, open up. Elbow to knee, open up, and then release to your mat. So extend that right leg nice and long. Flex your foot, engage that core. We're going to bend our leg, flexing the foot, little pulses up toward the sky. Go ahead and extend that leg. Extend your arm, pull in opposite directions, trying to find that balance. Elbow to knee, hug them in. Open up. Elbow to knee. Open up. Elbow to knee. Open up. Release to your mat. We're just going to press back to our child's pose for just a moment. So just breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Can roll out that forehead if it feels good to you. We're going to come up to our hero's pose, make our way into a seated position. So you can take an easy seated posture. If it feels okay, you can bring that right foot to that left hip crease. We'll inhale our arms to the sky. Go ahead and hook your thumbs, let those elbows fall out. So expand across the chest. We'll twist to the right. So left hand to the outside of that right leg. Really pressing into those feet. Maybe gazing toward that right shoulder. Go ahead and come back to center. Inhale your arms to the sky. We're going to take little pulses here. Really engage those arms when you pull them down. So inhale those arms to the sky, and then we'll twist to the left. So right hand to the outside of that left leg. So maybe gazing toward that left shoulder, pressing into the feet. Go ahead and come back to center. Release that right hand, reach that left arm up and over. Peel your shoulder back. Reach to those fingertips and press into those feet, press into your seat. Just getting a nice stretch in that left side body. Go ahead and add some pulses here. Again, really engaging that arm when you bend it, feeling the stretch in your side body. Go ahead and come back to center. We'll bring hands to the tops of our legs. We're going to go ahead and just circle it out. So make some circular clockwise motions with the chest. Keep that belly button engaged, sucking it to your spine. We'll go ahead and switch directions, so making some counterclockwise circles. Come back to center, release that left hand, reach that right arm up and over. So press into those feet, peel that right shoulder back. We'll go ahead and add some pulses here. And then come back to center, inhale your arms up, hook your thumbs, maybe the opposite way, let those elbows fall out. We're going to release our hands, make your way back to your downward facing dog. So inhale, rise up to the balls of the feet, exhale, heels toward the mat. We'll bend our knees, gaze between our thumbs, walk, step, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to sink down to our chair. So tuck your tail, suck your belly button toward your spine, sink into your seat, lift your chest. Go ahead and exhale, forward fold. We'll heel toe our feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. We're going to sink down to a squat pose. So we're just going to take little pulses here, checking in that the knees are not coming over the toes. Go ahead and inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. So we'll step back to our high push-up. We're going to step out our right foot, left foot. So just alternating right to left. ahead and come back to your high push-up. Exhale to low. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. We'll reach that right leg to the sky. Step through to our lunge. So you can keep your hands on your mat. And then inhale your arms to the sky. We're just going to bend and straighten through that left leg. Go ahead and release your hands. And we're going to switch, stepping to our lunge on the other side, or you can add a little hop. So we're just going to alternate sides, right to left. And then go ahead and make your way into your lunge on the other side. So pausing here, getting nice and stable, and then reaching those arms to the sky. We're going to bend and straighten through that left leg. Go ahead and come back to your lunge. We're going to alternate again. So release your hands to your mat, hop it right to left, or you can just step up and back, coming to whatever feels good to you. Go ahead and step up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll inhale our arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or hop back to your chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. Go ahead and drop those knees to your mat. We're going to take some hip circles to the right. So getting out any snaps, crackles, and pops. Then go ahead and switch directions, taking some hip circles to the left. Go ahead and press back to your child's pose. We're going to come up onto tent fingers or fingertips and just shift it left to right. So getting into those shoulders. Come back to center, press back to your downward facing dog. We're going to come down into our dolphin pose. So lower down onto the forearms. Relax your head and neck. Reach your tail to the sky. So feeling that strength, that support in your forearms. Maybe tiptoeing your feet forward, stacking shoulders over the elbows. And just breathing here. If it feels okay, you can reach that right leg up to about hip height. So flexing your foot, dialing those toes down. We'll go ahead and release that right foot, maybe lifting the left. So flexing that foot, dialing those toes down, engaging through the core. Release that left foot. We're going to walk our feet back to a forearm plank. So just breathing here. Again, knowing you can drop those knees. Go ahead and release down onto your mat. We're going to come into our Sphinx pose. So bent elbows, nice neutral gaze out in front of you. We'll press back to our downward facing dog. Walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Heel toe your feet to the outer edges. We're going to take our peace fingers around our big toes. So inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, forward fold. So just letting your head hang nice and heavy. Relaxing your shoulders. Letting any stress or tension roll off your neck and back. We're going to release our hands, turn our heels and toes out. So coming down to your Buddha squat. And if your heels don't touch the floor, you can go ahead and roll up your mat and just bring that under your heels. So bringing hands to heart center. Maybe pressing the elbows into the legs. We're going to go ahead and rock and roll. So we're going to rock back and then back up to our Buddha squat. So just massaging out that spine and then coming back to your Buddha squat. So one more, and we'll make our way up into a forward fold. So release your hands, forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Go ahead and grab your weights. So if you have light ones, maybe putting 2 in one hand. We're just going to go ahead and tip to the left. So really using those side muscles. Go ahead and come back to center. Bring your weights into both hands. We're going to reach them up and bend. Go ahead and release your hands by your sides. We're going to bring both into the other hand. So maybe bringing that left hand to the hip. And then just little pulses here, using that left side body. Go ahead and come back to center. Can release the weights. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll sink back to our chair. So tuck that tail, suck that belly button up in and lift your chest. We're just going to take little pulses here. So right heel to the mat. And then we're going to bring that right ankle to the top of our left leg. So go ahead and sink down. You can bring hands to your mat if that feels okay, getting a nice deep stretch in the hip. So either finding that balance or taking the stretch a little bit deeper. Go ahead and release right foot to meet left. Heel toe your feet toward the outer edges of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. We're going to come into our gorilla pose. So palms up, toes meet wrists. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. So let that head hang nice and heavy. Maybe swaying it out from side to side. Let any stress or tension just roll off your neck and back. Go ahead and release your hands. Heel toe your feet back together. Big toes touching. We're going to sink back to our chair. So tuck that tail, lift your chest. And then little pulses with that left foot. So I'm just gently tapping my heel to my mat, keeping that core engaged. And then I'm going to bring that left ankle to the top of my right leg. So sink down. Maybe bringing hands to heart center, getting a nice stretch, letting any tension pour out of that hip. Or maybe forward folding, just sinking into that hip. I'm going to release my left foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back to your high push-up. Exhale to low. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. I'm going to drop my knees to my mat, come into a seated position. Make my way onto my back. So knees bent, feet about hip width apart. Bring that right ankle to the top of the left leg, hug it in. Trying to let any last remaining toxins pour out of that hip. I'm going to go ahead and switch sides. So left ankle to the top of that right leg, hug it in. Breathing here. Then I'm going to come into my happy baby, so grabbing outer edges of the feet or peace fingers around big toes. Press your lower back into your mat, maybe rocking from side to side. Go ahead and come back to center. Reach those legs up to the sky. Relax your arms by your sides, maybe rolling out your ankles, your feet. We'll curl up into a tight little ball. Give yourself a great big hug. Maybe thanking yourself for coming to your mat, to your practice. And then come into your final resting pose. So just let your feet fall to the outer edges of the mat. Closing the eyes. Go ahead and slowly roll out our ankles, our wrists. We're going to make our way into a fetal position on the right side of our body. Slowly coming up to an easy seated posture. So bringing hands to heart center, the light within me honors the light, love, and peace within you. Namaste. Yay! Have an awesome rest of your day.